All right, so this deep dive tackles something I think we all wonder about.
Okay.
Love at first sight.
Mm-hmm.
Is it real, or is it just a good story?
It's a great question.
I mean, I think it's one of those things that everyone has an opinion on, right?
Absolutely.
And you've got a stack of articles here
Yeah.
about love at first sight, the idea of soulmates.
Mm-hmm.
So we're really diving deep today into whether these are real concepts or just stuff we see in movies.
I think that's something that's captivated people, I think really for centuries.
Oh, for sure.
And
Mhm.
I think it's fascinating how these ideas of love at first sight and soulmates, they kind of pop up across so many cultures,
Right.
even when they seem about as realistic as a flying unicorn.
Yeah, like you lock eyes across a crowded room and bam, instant
Yeah.
love connection.
Exactly.
But then we've also got all this science about attraction, right?
Yeah.
Like pheromones, brain chemistry.
Mm-hmm.
So is it just biology playing tricks on us?
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it?
Yeah. I think one way to think about it is
Yeah.
our brains are wired to make these snap judgments.
Okay.
So we're constantly scanning our environment for potential threats and rewards.
Mhm.
And that includes potential mates.
Okay, so you're saying there's actually like a scientific reason
Yeah.
I might be drawn to a certain type.
Yeah. I
Oh.
think there's a lot more going on beneath the surface than we realize.
So it's not just me being shallow then?
It's not you being shallow. There's actually,
Okay.
like, studies have shown that we are naturally drawn to faces that are symmetrical.
Really?
Yes.
Huh.
So it's thought to be a sign of good genes, like a biological, hey, I'm healthy signal.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So, okay, there's the science,
Mm-hmm.
but then there's all those movies and books
Yes.
that really fuel our love at first sight fantasies.
Oh, absolutely.
It's like they created this formula for instant romance.
They really do. And I think
Yeah.
the media plays a huge role in shaping our expectations.
I mean, think about all those classic rom-com scenes,
Oh, yeah.
like the meet cute in the coffee shop,
Yep.
or the accidental bump on the street that leads to this whole conversation.
Right.
We're just bombarded with these images of instant, effortless connection,
Yeah.
which can make real-life relationships seem
Oh, yeah.
a little
boring.
bland,
Yeah.
a little boring in comparison.
Right. It's like setting us up for disappointment in a way before we even start dating.
Absolutely.
So if those expectations are kind of messing with us,
Right.
what's the reality?
Yeah.
Is there any way to know if that initial spark is
Yeah.
the real deal?
Yeah.
Or is it just a flash in the pan?
You know, that's when it gets really interesting, I think, because
Yeah. Okay.
while our biology might be pulling us towards those initial sparks, lasting love really is about so much more
Oh, really?
than just that first impression.
Okay, so you're telling me there's hope.
There's always hope.
Okay. For those of us who haven't experienced love at first sight,
Maybe it's not all about that initial bam moment.
I think that's a really good point, and I think some experts actually would argue
Mm.
that what we perceive as love at first sight might actually be a case of mistaken identity.
Ooh.
We might be mistaking this intense physical attraction or a shared sense of excitement
Okay.
for something deeper
Interesting.
and more meaningful.
Okay, so we've talked about the science.
Yeah.
We've talked about the Hollywood version of it.
Mm,
But what about soulmates?
Right.
Is that another one of those kind of romanticized ideas?
I think it can be,
Okay.
but I think the idea of soulmates is actually much more nuanced
Okay.
than you might think.
Okay.
One of our sources defines soulmates as really
Yeah.
a destined romantic partner, someone you're fated to be with.
So like it's meant to be.
Yeah, that idea of a preordained connection, like two souls recognizing each other
Wow.
from a past life even.
So you just know when you've met the one.
Some people think so.
Really?
Are we talking about that feeling of coming home like you found the missing piece of yourself?
That's the classic interpretation.
Wow.
But you know, it's important to remember
Okay.
that not all soulmates
Mm-hmm.
are romantic partners.
Okay.
Some people believe we can have soulmate connections with friends, family members, even mentors.
Oh, interesting.
It's about a deep, profound connection that kind of transcends the everyday.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's not just about finding that one person out there.
Right.
It's more about recognizing
Yeah,
all these other deep connections we can have.
I think so.
Okay.
And I think that's really freeing in a way.
Oh, absolutely. Like less pressure, right?
Way less pressure.
Yeah, because it's not just about finding the one.
Right.
It's about all these different kinds of love.
Exactly. And it opens us up to, I think,
Yeah.
the possibility of having multiple soulmates in our lives,
Yeah.
offering us different kinds of support and companionship.
Oh, I like that a lot.
Yeah.
Okay, so how do we know? If we found one of these connections.
Yeah, that's a great question.
Right, because it could be romantic
Yeah.
or it could be platonic.
Right. Exactly.
So,
I don't know if there's a magic formula,
okay.
but I
Yeah.
think our sources suggest there are some common threads.
Okay.
Like often a soulmate connection involves a really deep sense of understanding
Right.
and acceptance.
You feel comfortable being yourself around them.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's like you can truly be yourself with this person, flaws of all.
Yeah, and they get you.
Exactly.
They appreciate you.
It's that feeling of being seen
Yes.
and appreciated for who you really are, not who you think you should be.
100%.
And I think along with that comes this sense of ease
Yeah,
and comfort.
totally.
You might find yourself, sharing your deepest thoughts and feelings with this person,
Oh, for sure.
even if you've only known them for a short time.
Yeah, you just click like that.
You just click.
But how much of this is like cultural, you know?
That's such a good point.
Yeah, but I mean, some cultures
Mhm.
put a lot of emphasis on things like
Yeah.
arranged marriage or like family ties are really important.
Right. And I think our sources point out that this whole idea
Okay.
of romantic love, especially the way we think about soulmates,
Yeah.
often is influenced by
Okay.
Western individualism.
Okay, so in some cultures,
Yeah.
finding your soulmate, like,
Right.
isn't even really a thing.
It might not even be on the radar.
Wow.
Yeah. In more collectivist cultures, for example,
Okay.
marriage might be seen as a practical arrangement
Okay.
between families.
Right.
And it's focused on
Yeah.
shared values
Yeah.
and social harmony.
No, good sure.
So it's not necessarily about that
That spark. Right.
intense
Right.
individualistic spark.
Yeah, that's so interesting.
Yeah, it really highlights how much
Like, it really does.
our upbringing shapes
Right.
our beliefs about
Our whole belief system
love and relationships.
about love. Wow. Okay, so we've covered the science,
Mhm.
the Hollywood hype,
Yes.
the cultural differences.
Mm-hmm.
But, like, how do we apply this to our own lives?
Right.
How do we know if that feeling of,
Yeah.
wow, this could be it, is
Mhm.
real,
Yeah.
or if it's just,
Is it the real deal
yeah,
or just a passing infatuation?
right.
That's the million-dollar question, right?
It is.
I think one way to think about it
Okay.
is to consider the difference between infatuation
Okay.
and genuine connection.
Okay, so infatuation.
Infatuation is often fueled by
Okay.
those initial surges of dopamine and norepinephrine.
Okay.
Those feel-good chemicals
Yeah.
that make us giddy and excited.
Yeah, like the butterflies and
Exactly.
racing heart,
Yes.
all of that.
Okay, but how do we move beyond that
Right.
to something?
That's where those deeper qualities come into play.
Okay.
So genuine connection involves things like
Okay.
shared values, mutual respect, intellectual compatibility,
Right.
and a willingness to grow together.
So the initial spark might get you in the door,
Yeah.
but it might draw you in.
It's the quality of the connection.
It's the staying power.
Yes.
It's the long game.
That's what really matters.
Exactly. And, that takes time
Right.
to cultivate. It really is.
Yeah.
It's about those everyday moments.
I like that.
The conversations,
Mhm.
the shared experiences, the way you support each other
Yeah.
through life's ups and downs.
Okay, so if we're trying to figure out if this is someone special,
Yeah.
maybe the real question isn't love at first sight, but
Yeah.
do I feel
Yeah.
seen by this person?
Yes, 100%.
Yeah.
Now you're getting it.
Okay.
It's about looking beyond that spark
Mm-hmm.
and really asking those deeper questions.
Sure.
Like, do you feel
Okay.
a sense of alignment in your values
Okay.
and your life goals?
Gotcha.
Do you inspire each other
Yeah.
to grow and become better versions of yourselves?
Oh, those are good ones.
Yeah, and I think sometimes we need to approach love with a more discerning eye
Yeah.
than we might initially think.
Not get swept up in the
Don't get swept away by the fairy tale.
little fairy tale. Yeah.
Be a little more realistic,
Yeah.
a little more grounded.
That's good advice.
I think so too.
Okay, so we've talked about the initial spark,
Yeah.
the Hollywood myths,
Mhm.
the cultural variations, and the things that make a relationship last.
Right.
But
Yeah, like,
what does this all mean?
what does this all mean?
For the person listening at home,
Yeah.
what are some key takeaways
Right.
that they can use in their own lives?
Yeah, I think sometimes we get so caught up in this idea of
Yeah.
finding the one
Mm-hmm.
that we forget
Right.
to just appreciate
Okay.
the amazing people we already have in our lives,
That's a good point.
and the connections that are right in front of us.
Yeah, it's like we're so busy looking for the fairy tale
Exactly.
that we forget to
We forget to enjoy the journey.
enjoy the journey. Yeah. So be open to possibility.
Be open to possibility.
That's a good takeaway.
Absolutely.
Yeah, like embrace the unexpected.
Embrace the unexpected, because you never know.
You really don't.
You just never know what could happen.
That's right, because I
Yeah.
mean, that chance encounter at the grocery store,
Right.
or that, I don't know,
Or that online dating profile
yeah,
that you thought
that you almost swiped left on,
that you almost swiped left on.
right?
It could lead to something incredible.
It really could.
Yeah. As long as you give it a chance.
As long as you give it a chance.
Yes.
Right, don't write it off, because
Don't write it off
it doesn't
because it doesn't fit your little mold.
fit your mold, yeah,
Yeah.
of how you think it should be.
Of how you think love should be.
Exactly.
Because sometimes those are the best ones.
They really are.
Yeah.
And I love what you said about, love isn't passive.
Love is not passive.
Right. It's not something that
Let's
just
just bump into
it
it.
falls into your lap.
No.
You have to create it.
You are actively creating this with someone else.
And that means putting in the effort,
Putting in the effort,
showing up,
showing up authentically,
nurturing it.
nurturing it. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. And choosing each other every single day.
Every single day, because life is not
It's not easy.
all sunshine and roses.
Right.
No,
There's going to be ups and downs.
there will be ups and downs.
Okay, so be honest
Be honest
about what you need.
with yourself and with your partner.
Okay.
Yeah.
And don't be afraid to ask for it.
Don't be afraid to ask for what you need, and be willing to give that same consideration in return.
Communication is key.
Communication is huge.
All right, so to wrap it all up,
Okay.
I think what we've really learned,
What have we learned?
that initial spark
Yeah.
can be great.
It can be great. It can be
Exciting.
intoxicating.
Yes.
Yeah.
But it's essential to kind of look beyond that
To look beyond the
Yeah.
initial fireworks.
and consider the bigger picture.
Absolutely. I couldn't agree more.
Pay attention to the shared values,
Yes.
the mutual respect, the
Mhm.
connection.
Yeah, those are the things
Those are the things
that build a
Uh-oh.
strong foundation for a lasting relationship.
And who knows, maybe that'll even,
And you know what?
yeah.
Sometimes I think those qualities
Yeah.
can even ignite a spark
Oh, wow.
that's even stronger
even stronger.
than that initial infatuation.
Wow. I love that.
Yeah.
So there you have it, folks.
There you have it.
Go for it.
Go forth and embrace
Embrace
the beautiful messiness
with a beautiful messiness.
that is love.
That is love. That's a great place to end it.
I think so too.
This has been a really fun deep dive.
Yeah, I've really enjoyed this.
Lots to think about.
Lots to think about.
So until next time.
Until next time.